Everything's a blessing. That's right. What the circumstances is. You're alive, you're doing good.
That's what I'm talking about, man. You know.
Put on my Sunday shoes and my Sunday suit. I'm preaching to the choir, now they all got Sunday blues. I'm just a vessel that he's using here to spread the truth. If real recognizes real, then who the fuck is you? Put on my Sunday shoes and my Sunday suit. I'm preaching to the choir, now they all got Sunday blues. I'm just a vessel that he's using here to spread the truth. If real recognizes real, then who the fuck is you?
Everything's a blessing. That's right. What the circumstances is. You're alive, you're doing good.
That's what I'm talking about, man. You know. So we connected, man. I mean, we on $1 million worth of game, featuring Suge Knight live from penitentiary. There's some things you want to talk about, Suge.
This episode of $1 million worth of game is brought to you by New Amsterdam vodka.
You know, one of the things is always been heavy on my mind is that I know I owe it to my community. I know I owe it to the younger generation that comes after me to get in the game that people didn't give me. I had to learn the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of the, it's very important that, you know, like I said, I'm a firm believer that always less is better. But we got to be real careful out there because you got so many people that's constantly talking, saying certain things. They're dealing with what's used for publicity. And it's getting a lot of people in handcuffs, getting a lot of people, you know, on the worst end of the barrel. And like I say, at the end of the day, me being older than the older generation, it's the young people's turn. There's a lot of good people out there doing great shit. You know, I think the city of Compton is still great. They got, you know, artists out there is incredible. I don't personally know them, they're younger, but they're still great. 211 doing great shit. T-Rail definitely doing great shit. And it's just at the end of the day, it's time for us to move forward instead of constantly moving backwards. Because you got people who say they're from my neighborhood, they grew up in my neighborhood, but they came from a different neighborhood. You got people saying they're with this crew, don't even know that crew. And even when it came down to Death Row, I came up with the name Death Row. And matter of fact, another guy had the name already. It was Death Row, but he started like Death, like he spelled Death Jam.
The DES.
The same way, Death. Yeah, he said, bro, I said, no, you know, we can together. I'm going to do some gangster shit. So I bought his shit and destroyed his trademark and did my own. And my little homie Hit Dog, rest in peace, through the logo.
Okay.
And a lot of times people go and say, well, this guy named Mike, he said he started Death Row, this person said he started Death Row, all these different people. Now, true enough, I do know Mike through my attorney. We had some conversations about doing some things, but at the same time, nobody had no real money to do that shit. I did all that shit on my own. You know, one of the things is always been heavy on my mind is that I know I owe it to my community. I know I owe it to the younger generation that comes after me to get in the game that people didn't give me. I had to learn the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
And like one of the, it's very important that, you know, like I said, I'm a firm believer that always less is better. But we got to be real careful out there because you got so many people that's constantly talking, saying certain things. They're dealing with what's used for publicity. And it's getting a lot of people in handcuffs, getting a lot of people, you know, on the worst end of the barrel. And like I say, at the end of the day, me being older than the older generation, it's the young people's turn. There's a lot of good people out there doing great shit. You know, I think the city of Compton is still great. They got, you know, artists out there is incredible. I don't personally know them, they're younger, but they're still great. 211 doing great shit. T-Rail definitely doing great shit. And it's just at the end of the day, it's time for us to move forward instead of constantly moving backwards. Because you got people who say they're from my neighborhood, they grew up in my neighborhood, but they came from a different neighborhood. You got people saying they're with this crew, don't even know that crew. And even when it came down to Death Row, I came up with the name Death Row. And matter of fact, another guy had the name already. It was Death Row, but he started like Death, he spelled Death Jam.
The DES.
The same way, Death. Yeah, he said, bro, I said, no, you know, we can together. I'm going to do some gangster shit. So I bought his shit and destroyed his trick. I said the first time it came around, because you got to realize one thing, when I said Interscope 10 deals in Sydney, they're about to call it store the town. I say they company and left my company. But at the same time, they settled. Any person said they had anything to do with me and knew me, I gave everybody sign off on stuff. $300, you know, with $300,000 and say, hey, even though y'all had nothing to do with my shit, it is so because that's the best way to do it. So that was settled. Later on in life, moving forward, they went to court and got a default judgment against me, saying it had something to do with my company, along with the lawyers and the Kim. When that happened, none of my lawyers came in and represented me, and I got a default judgment because I went there and I never got served. So instead of going back and forth with it, I did another settlement for $1 million. The intake sale was over. I didn't know at the time, but it wasn't a problem with Lydia. It was a problem with Michael X. They his lawyer turned around and said they didn't settle. So when it was going back and forth, I did a Chapter 11 to show this is not true. We don't have to do a Chapter 11 in the federal court because the state judge was on the phone. When they were representing the state judge, with Goldberg, with his, Michael Harris attorney, and 3 other guys all on the phone on a report saying how they got the judge in his pocket and he's going to fuck over me. Just to fuck over me. So I was advised to do a Chapter 11, show him the settlement, and it be done with. Moving forward all this time now today, I just recently found out, I wasn't 1,000% sure, but I just recently found out it was Michael Harris and Goldberg, his attorney, did the biggest fraud in the history of the music business. Everybody want to pat these guys on the back and show praises and say, hang out with me. But these are the same people who were frauding the black man trying to fuck up this motherfucking shit. I fuck this shit up. Because at the end of the day, and you can show it, and Goldberg, which is Michael Harris' attorney, he emailed Kaplan, which is Lydia Harris' attorney, said, hey, we're going to take the default judgment from here and capitalize on things. He said, no, you can't do that. I got this judgment for Lydia Harris. Goldberg, who's Michael Harris' attorney, said, well, if you don't stand down, you guys will get in trouble because at the end of the day, you file bankruptcy. Your client filed bankruptcy. If you file bankruptcy, you don't miss these type of things. That means it's illegal. You should have a trustee. So her attorney, which is Kaplan, turned around and said, well, you know what? I didn't find out until almost a year after we got the default judgment. As a lawyer that's officer of the court, you're supposed to go in immediately and get that straight. And like I said, when it's all said and done, and because I'm a black man in Compton, and a businessman,
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I think it's treated the same way if I was Apple, if I was Universal, Warner Brothers, Pepsi-Cola, or whoever. But we always against each other in the ghetto so much that it uses them all fighting amongst each other. Like, use everybody against each other. Like, if you say something negative about this person, I'll give you more views. If you say something about this person, I'll give you more views. Like I said, it's people from my neighborhood that just started my neighborhood. They came from Kitchen Crip or hang with the main street. When they moved to my neighborhood, they didn't run with us to school or go to school because they was most people who wouldn't tough, you couldn't go to school. That's like sports. How you can tell a person can fight when I was growing up and they played sports. You was good in sports, you was good in fight or anything else that came with along with it. I grew up with 10 uncles. My name always meant something. So that tells you a lot about that.
Right.
But more importantly, I think it's real important that we don't get caught in trying to bring these first down like the old crab in the bucket. That's like when you look at it, I'm from the West Coast. I love everywhere for my people, but I don't love no coast that is the West Coast because that's where I was born and raised at. And right now on the West Coast, we're getting arrested out there, people get killed out there, they're not getting any money back to the West.
Right? Based off of what you said, is there any individuals that you feel as though have been in the penitentiary for a long period of time that really need somebody to be fighting for them? That that was unjustly convicted and all that? Is there anybody that you know personally that you can mention?
I mean, of course, but some of them got out. The one person I consider, the one person I can trust more than anybody is one of my big bros. I ain't gonna say his name. He did 38 years. But there's so many people that's been. It's like this, and I ain't even trying to blow my own horn. It ain't about me because I'm doing my time. But at the same time, my defense was self-defense. So it's not like they didn't allow me to use my own attorney. They had me get all these other attorneys out meeting the district, walking my eye and all this type of shit. I ain't even put it on a record. Let me hire my attorney. But I didn't have no outgoing mail, no incoming mail, no phone services. If I wanted to hire an attorney, a PI, or use a bail process, they got to get approved by the DA, county counsel with the sheriff's attorney, and the judge want me to hire them. And if they don't want me to see them or hire them, they won't let you talk to them. Even the person who they gave immunity to said, you can't get in trouble. I thought he was going to tell the truth. They turned around and had a fact on where these people had weapons. The person called all these people show up here. And each person was saying, what he was doing here? Oh, well, it was his jam. In other words, his hit. His setup. movie, they destroy that kid, they get sued, the production company gets sued. So if you have guys getting $100 or $150 a day, and you want to get them some money, it would come from Universal or the production company. And if it was Dre, it would come from his business account, not his personal account. Now these guys got personal checks, 20 grand and more, right? And when they ask these guys, well, why do you need this money, these big checks, if he don't know you? Well, it was murder for hire. He paid us just to kill a certain person. You know who that person was. Instead of them taking that and saying, okay, let this man go, but don't arrest this man and leave it alone, they didn't want to take it to trial because they know all the truth will come. But at the same time, it's not the fact that I got 28 years. I end up, the crime they gave me carried 2, 6, and 11. They try to say I have a strike on a path, which really don't want to be a strike, so they doubled me up. Then they gave me another enhancement, so they just gave me enhancements right now. My face turned to stuff. In reality, I should have did that. But I don't want to take up all my time for it. It's time for it. You know, think it's my people that spend it all on me, because it's not on me. There's people from federal institutions, the state institutions, that really need our help. But more importantly, it's not just the people in the institution. It's people who's on the street, these younger generations, who's not having jobs on the right outlet.
We have 60 seconds remaining.
Take care of their family. Yeah. We out here glorifying
this call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
We'll glorify the man who's a drug dealer and did a lot of killing, instead of this man who came from hard knocks and started from the bottom and made it to the top. Person's like, my whole life is, nobody never gave me nothing God. And if you do a background check on me, it is what it is. And if you do a background check on all the people who talking, he's a informant, or what they call them, CI, whatever they call them, right? And they ain't call it that.
Sure.
Yeah, you know, and one of the things is like this. First they gave me a no bail. Then they gave me a $25 million bail. There was only 200 people ever had a $25 million bail. The guy who killed all the kids, 800 people in Oklahoma, wherever his name was, and the guy who killed all the people in the marathon in Boston or whatever, right? Now, that's crazy shit, right? Then when you turn around, when you give me a bail, you don't allow me to bail out. And you take away all my rights where I can't cut me, where I'm not allowed to prove myself. That's the same way when this guy, a 17-year-old kid, comes somewhere with an AK-47, and he shoots 2 people, kills 2 people, and one was the other. They say, well, that's self-defense because they're coming towards him. So he gets off. Well, Suge Knight, he calls over. You see people with guns attacking me. They even said they had guns. It's proof they had guns. But they took my right to be able to use attorneys to defend myself and gave me no choice. Either I get 100-some years or I take the deal. And so at the end of the day, now, the whole world understood what happened to Floyd. He couldn't breathe. And I felt that. And I was grateful that people got justice. But at the same time, it's a lot.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
There's a lot of people who can't breathe, but they take companies from you. They take your money from you. There's 2 things they can't do. If they can't take the money from you, they take you from the money, either kill you or put you in prison. All they want to come and talk and fight because it's too late. Once you fight for us, there's limits. There's always want to be at the end. Well, okay, he was a great person. But there's nowhere you can find anywhere that anybody got. Every one of my attorney visits was recorded. That's illegal. When I would have had most of these attorneys. When I told the court, my Brady violation was violated because I told the court, I said, you know what? I want to fire the counsel I have and give me time to order 2 new counsel because this is my second day in court. So I have a right to do that. He said, no, I'm saying something like this, you know, if it's fine. I said, you know what? I tell you what, I like to exercise my rights and go first. You know what the judge told me? No, you can't go first. If you want to go first, one thing you're supposed to be able to do is see if you've been to high school and you know how to read and write. Obviously, I got a college degree and I know how to read and write. Instead, they denied me. And then when I went to go to have the hearing the next.
The reason I mentioned some of the CEOs that I mentioned because they're young cats and they doing anything, that you know, quality control, the CMG, all these dudes out here making moves. You know what I'm saying? And I just wanted to give one is you. Is there any word of wisdom you could give them when they playing in the big leagues of this music industry?
What I think they should always do, keep their paperwork right, keep their ownership. There's a difference between owning something or somebody got to sell it back to you. Don't want to no deal and say, you know what, Sony, whoever they fucking with, well, I want to own my shit as my company. They say, well, you know what, later on, we're going to sell it back to you. It didn't go like that. It's yours from the start, and you should never have to buy it back. Own your masters, show. It's not the old school no more. You don't need the majors no more. You got social media. But I think what they should do is y'all should figure out how to get along with each other. Because one day y'all should be able to get together and buy a football team, or buy a basketball team, or buy a baseball team. You shouldn't have to go to the bank. If you got 5 or 10 people who's really doing their thing, they should call each other and say, hey man, let's buy a race. Let's buy the race. Because the NFL really don't care. They treat the athletes like shit. They say if they get caught smoking weed, they get in trouble. But then anybody before them at the Super Bowl who promotes my team. Or then anybody pull the show, and we gotta stop hiring people who's well-known informants who snitch on everybody and put them on the stand. I put them in prison. They run y'all companies. A lot of these people, the FBI is the most smart people in the world. They get these people and put them in the industry for one reason, to get around everybody in the industry to arrest you motherfuckers one day.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Like I said, the most important thing is less talking,
More action.
more action.
You calling back, shit?
It's not about me. I did my thing. I feel I'm part of history regardless.
No, you definitely part of history.
It's their turn.
It can't wipe you out of
It's their
history.
turn. It's their turn to run every motherfucking thing. And you know, come on, Whack, I ain't gonna hold this person against you. Calm that shit down. But tell me you got something to say, we'll holler when I get there. Or who anybody else. But the most important thing is, in the industry, y'all got the industry in the palm of y'all hand. You got the world in one hand, you got the guns in the other. Which one you gonna use?
That's $1 million worth of game right there.
$1 million worth of game, Chill.
That's $1 million
Hey
worth
man,
of
y'all
game.
enjoy yourself.
You too, Chill.
I mean, hey, a lot of times I don't get no J pay. Love y'all, I don't get no J pay and stuff like that. But I do have a official.
Who from the music industry reach out to you? Do any other CEOs or anybody reach out to you?
No. Instead, you gotta realize one thing. They gotta look good for the executives at Universal or Interscope or Sony, and so they got a bad mouth. You get motherfuckers. I don't talk to none of those motherfuckers. But I tell you this, it's not. If it was Mary J. Blige being signed to a protective company, protective signed to Uptown with MTA, which is Universal. So if $1 came in, everybody gets their piece. My family get their piece, and that left. I went in and got off a production company, got off Uptown, and did the deal straight to MTA. It didn't mean from getting Andre off of Ruthless, where he would only get 1 penny for producing. And it would cost collateralize his producer royalties if anybody in a record company failed. I went to war and got that man off that contract. Shit, the first time Puffy did his album, I let him use my samples for free. On Biggie's first album, you seen all the Death Row samples on there. I didn't charge you $1. But at the same, what I do say, and it's great to be able to say, what was good about us, we all need each other. Because if whoever was in the business put out a hit record and made us work harder to do another hit record. All these people talk about Tupac. Nobody went got Tupac out of prison but me. All these people talk about Snoop. When it came to Snoop, I knew the Twins and Domino first before we even met Snoop. But when Snoop came to Death Row, and when Snoop got in trouble, and I don't regret none of this, Snoop, we only had 1 song done on Snoop. So what I did, I said, look, I took my company. I said, I tell you what, give me $5 million right now. They said, for what? I said, I got to put us and together for Snoop's murder trial. They said, you know he's probably going to lose, and you know you're going to lose your whole company. I said, well, it's worth his life. So I put my whole company up for it. Got the $5 million.
Who gave you the $5
I
million?
don't want to bring in David Kenner. I don't want to bring in David Kenner. I don't want to bring in Johnny Cochran.
Hold up, Chill. Who gave you the $5 million? What label gave you the $5 million?
Interscope.
Interscope. Jimmy Iovine.
Yep. I went to them and said, here, give me this money right now. They told me, don't do it. You'll be done to do it. You're going to go to prison. I said, all right, chance I got to take. So not only did I do that, I walked in, and hesitate everybody talks about, all the lawyers head down, so they can't beat this case. I said, why not? They said the guy who was with him, who was supposed to be the security, has a 9mm. Snoop has a 380. Allegedly, he shot on the ground, the bullet hit the ground.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
It raised up and killed him. Right? Alright. It killed him, right? So I said, what the hell? If the bodyguard had the 380 and Snoop had a 9, we fucked. But instead, the bodyguard is going to tell him he was shooting 380 bullets out of a 9mm. But a 380 can't shoot 9mm bullets, but a 9mm can shoot 380 bullets. When Snoop went to court, it was 100 pound rules out there every day. They told me they was going to arrest me if I keep coming to court because they scared to
me ask you a question. Now,
Yeah.
when you went and got Pac, what made you go get Pac out of jail? What made you say, I'm going to get Pac? And did you really write a contract down on the paper to sign him?
Man, Pac is one of the best. That's my little brother. Before he was my little brother, was just the truth about it. Interscope didn't want it. They wanted to give it to me because Pac would always come up here and call him the devil. God's devil, right? So when Pac, I was talking to him to slow it down. Pac was, being Pac cocky. Everybody was saying, "No, let me be him." When Pac got shot in New York, I guess they were sending flowers and roses. I sent him a bulletproof vest with the Death Row logo on the back. They don't get scared down. So when Pac went to prison, Keith had kept calling my office saying he was his wife. Everybody laughing. So I took a call one day. He was telling the truth. I grabbed my lawyer. I'm on house arrest with a house ankle bracelet. Got my private plane. Took a private plane out there. Took another plane to there. Took an hour and a half ride to the prison went to go visit. And got Pac out of prison.
Okay.
So let me ask
If it wasn't for Keisha, I wouldn't have been there.
So share a story with us about Tupac that don't nobody know. Nobody's ever heard.
Well, two of them. One of them is that when Pac first got when I went to go visit, I sent him all the stuff that I'm going to have for him. So when Pac gets there, I send a private plane, I send a limo, pick him up, all that shit. He gets to the studio, I give him a briefcase with $1 million cash. I give him all the jewelry, all the shit. The first song we ever did was My Business as a Rider, which the hook was already on there and the track was already done. Pac goes in and starts rapping on the motherfucker, right? And I couldn't believe how good is that. And so I said, "What you think?" I said, "Oh man, it's all right. Do it again." I'm putting the engineer song right. So he does it again, So what you think? I said, "Man, I ain't trying to convince. I'm trying to see, because I pissed him off and say, fuck this shit." But I couldn't do it. So he just kept getting better and better. So finally he does it. We stack it. We come in, we play it back as a hit, right? We go outside, and I open the motherfucking limo up, and it's literally 10 naked bitches in the limo for him. He said, "What's that?" I said, "That's you." I said, "Man, go to the hotel, have a good time, talk to the one." I said, "You just don't take none of this motherfucking money, don't smoke all his weed up," right? We laughing. As we talking, he fell up, and I grabbed him, about to bust his head open. I went back, "What's up?" He said, "Oh man, I had too much drinking, too much smoking, my system's too clean." I said, "Yeah, I can hear it now. I'll push you down if you bust your head open," right? And that's one of them. And the other one was in Cabo. So we're in Cabo, and we got a couple of things, we have fun.